What is up, YouTube? Back in another YouTube video, and today we have a guide for how to complete the Scavengers Den Legend Lost Sector. Now, to find this Lost Sector, you want to go to your Destinations tab, and then go to the bottom left right here in the middle in the EDZ, and then go ahead and spawn either here in Trossland, or if you really want, you can spawn in Wedding Cove and go down here. I just recommend spawning it in Trossland, and then what you're going to do is just pretty much take out your Sparrow or your hoverboard, whatever you got, or you can walk there, jump, whatever it is. And we're going to go ahead and just make our way down here this way. It's the only path you can follow pretty much, so you can't really get lost here. But we're going to just follow along this path. And then you can see over here, all we're going to do is make a drop. And then right here we'll find the lost sector. Now, in order to find the flag and the icon here, you do have to complete it at least once normally. So you can see if you don't have this flag here, or you don't have this icon on your mini-map, that means you have to complete it normally. So what you're going to have to do is actually walk inside, and then once you reach a certain point, it is going to tell you lost sector discovered. So you can see I'm going to just walk through here, and then we're going to just end up reaching a certain point of the lost sector, and it's going to say Scavengers Den. There it is. And then if you just make your way a little bit further, you're going to see red health bar enemies. Go ahead and kill all those enemies, kill the boss at the end, loot the chest, and you will unlock legend and master difficulty for this lost sector. So now we're going to go ahead and make our way up here so we can go over the modifiers, then the loadout, and then we'll get into the gameplay. So making our way over here, we're going to go back, and here's the modifiers for legend difficulty. For legend difficulty, we have shielded foes who face combines with arc shields, legend modifiers, equipment lock, limited revives, barrier and overload champions, solar threat, 25% increase to incoming solar damage, scorched earth, enemies throw grenades significantly more often, overcharged weapons, strand surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage, solar surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage, then overcharged fusion rifle, 25% bonus to fusion rifle damage. Then you can see recommended power 1830, but just try to be as high of a light level as you can. You can see I'm 1826, and we're going to get it done, no problem. And then rewards are enhancement cores, uncommon. If completed solo, legendary weapons are uncommon. And then if completed solo, exotic arms armor is rare. So let's get into the loadout, and then we'll get into the gameplay. So getting into the loadout, we got Solar subclass here with Golden Gun Marksman. Then for abilities, Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, Knife Trick, and Healing Grenades. For the aspects, we have On Your Mark and Knock 'em Down. And then for fragments, we have Ember of Ashes, Ember of Char, Ember of Solace, Ember of Torches, and Ember of Eruption. Now for the weapons, I'm running Riptide. This does get a damage boost since it is a fusion rifle, and fusion rifles get a damage boost for today, so I highly recommend this. And you can also use this to stun overload champions if you don't want to use overload rocket launcher, but that's completely up to you. I highly recommend if you don't have a Riptide with chill clip, I really do recommend trying to get one and then just throwing it in your vault just in case you ever need it for future stuff like this. But again, that's why I'm running Riptide. Then Polaris Lance, this is going to be for our barrier champions, as well as just working with the build with the solar ignitions and spreading it and everything like that. So Polaris Lance. And then Apex Predator is in the heavy slot. Now it doesn't have to be Apex Predator exactly, we just want a rocket launcher so we can use overload rocket launchers. But I do recommend a strand or a solar rocket launcher, that way you take advantage of the damage boost. I just have Apex Predator because I crafted it and then I have that there. Now for the helmet and getting into the armor, the helmet is the exotic Celestial Nighthawk with 2 solar siphon mods and a dynamo mod. For the arms, we have solar loader and heavy handed. And then for the chest piece, we have 2 solar damage resistant mods and a charged up mod. For the legs, we have stacks on stacks and 2 kinetic weapon surge mods. And then for the cloak, we have 2 bomber mods and a time dilation mod. Now getting into the artifact, feel free to pause it right now just to copy it. But this is everything that I had on when I completed it. First row doesn't really matter because we're not going to use any of the weapons directly. But for the second row, I do recommend Kindling Trigger. And if you are going to use Blast Radius, just kind of know that you have it on. I didn't really take advantage of it because I really didn't care. If an AI was next to champion, then I got Blast Radius to proc. But if not, it doesn't really matter. This one doesn't matter either because from whence you came, because it does not work here. There's no taking or scoring enemies here, so we don't really take advantage of that. So I only recommend Kindling Trigger here. For the third row, I recommend Flint Striker and Wished Into Being. Heart of the Flame doesn't work because there's no allies and you don't pretty much give anybody buffs or anything like that, so it doesn't really work here. For the fourth row, Overload Rocket Launchers, I do recommend because we're going to use this for Overload Champions. And then for the last row, Raise of Precision and Solo Operative, I do recommend. That way we can go ahead and have extra damage as a solo player since we're doing this by ourselves, and Raise of Precision will help us when it comes to igniting combatants and everything like that. So that's the artifact. Again, feel free to pause it and just copy it, make changes wherever you need to make them. But we're going to go ahead and get into the gameplay now.